From what I saw outside, Sairam is not new to many of us here, yet an introduction is a must. Sairam was a capital market professional till about a year and a half, 2 years back. And as a capital market professional, his travel took a large part of his time. He would be in Bombay, Delhi. He would stay there for long duration, bad food habits, bad sleep habits. And can you believe it or not, he was also a chain smoker. Close to 10 years ago, he said, enough is enough. You should ask him why he did that. He said, enough is enough, and he turned to fitness. He lost close to 20 kilos in his journey to fitness. He has done over 7 full marathons, multiple half marathons. He's also a BRM super on turner. He's done 1,000 kilometers on the cycle in one shot, not over a period of time, in one shot. And fitness and good nutrition became a regular practice in his life. He didn't want to stop there because he wanted to spread this concept of fitness and nutrition to people. This journey he started when he was about 42. He quit his work, as I said, 2 years back, 2-3 years back, and he decided to study up. He decided to study up on fitness and nutrition. And he has a list of all that he has achieved in the last few years in terms of certification. He's a certified nutrition from Precision Nutrition, certified personal trainer from International Sports Science Association, and I must add that his online classes are one of the most sought after training classes amongst my friend circle today. I believe, as many of them here would say it, ML is there, Sujata is there. He really puts you through the ring. And I tried once and I said, enough, I can't do this. So certified, he's also a certified sleep, stress management and recovery coach, from Precision Nutrition, a certified kettlebell instructor from Strong First Foundation. He has been spreading this joy of fitness and health through his initiatives, Mitahara and Vastitude. I am a follower of Mitahara. It teaches you good eating habits that you can prolong over a period of time, unlike other diets where you have to, after a point, you say enough is enough. This is just regular living with good food that he subscribes to and practices and expects the rest of us to practice also. He's also the founder member of Madras Mustangs, a cycling and a running group. Sai himself, as I said earlier, is a cyclist and a marathoner. Welcome, Sai, to our club.
Thank you, sir. The floor is yours.
Thank you.
We at least follow some of your guidelines. Week after week, we eat nutritious food here.
I could see that. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Let me start by asking you a question. How many of you here have been on a diet plan or a nutrition plan? Yeah? Most of us at some point of time in our lives would have followed a certain diet plan, Diet plan is like a religion, it's getting discussed everywhere. You find it in social media, you find it in the news, and then you find people speaking in social gathering also. The good thing about any diet plan, be it a keto diet, paleo, crash diet, GM diet, whatever you call, is that it promotes calorie deficit, that you start eating less. It gives you a structure to the way you eat. Otherwise, you normally don't have a structure. And also largely eliminates processed food. That's the good thing. But the bad thing is some of these diet plans promote prohibiting or eliminating completely one particular macronutrient. It can be carbohydrates, fat, or protein, right? The end result, you may end up losing some weight here and there. It may be fat, it may be water loss, you don't know. In some cases, your blood markers may also improve. But this is a quick fix, right? So today, if I'm going to tell you to stop eating, I saw people eating alwa and bonda and all. If I tell them, say you should stop eating bonda from tomorrow, no, I'm just... So let's assume, okay, let me tell you this. If I tell you should not look into this speaker, your mind will go there. You will be actively and attentively go towards the speaker. Similar thing is with your food also. If I tell you should stop eating sugar from tomorrow, your mind will wander towards eating sugar. See, our brain has two systems. One is called as emotional and one is called rational. I would want to call it as an emotional elephant and a rational rider. When it comes to food choices, always the emotional elephant overrides the rational rider. It forces you, it pushes you to eat because these foods are hyper palatable, very high in taste. On the contrary, if I tell you that stop adding 2 teaspoons of sugar in your coffee, add 1 teaspoon of sugar, isn't that doable? It is very much doable. Progressively, if I ask you to reduce the quantum of sugar or any kind of item which is supposed to be called junk foods, it would be relatively easier, right? Don't get into any kind of diet or a nutrition plan. What is required is a behavioral change. You will have to cultivate habit. Let me give you another example. If I tell you to add 1 cup of extra vegetables in every meal from tomorrow, is it possible to do it? It is possible to do it. Eating vegetable is like a low-hanging fruit. We've been taught to eat vegetable since the time we were kids, so it's easy to do it, right? So that is a behavioral change. The journey of 1,000 miles starts from that one single step, right? Don't have any restrictive eating. Restrictive eating is not going to take you anywhere. Have everything in moderation. That's what we propagate in Mitahara. Mitahara is translated into moderate your diet. Mitahara is a Sanskrit word. Eat everything in moderation. Having said that, you need to have a balance and you need to maintain a calorie deficit. Now, how are you going to calculate the calories, how much you eat? Of course, you have a lot of apps in your mobile platform which helps you to track how much you eat. Are they accurate? Definitely not. But at least it can give you a ballpark number. To put it very simply, following a nutrition plan is in your hands. To be very precise, in your palm, in your fist and your thumb. Right? Eat 6 palm-sized portion of protein every day. Your go-to protein foods are, if you are a non-vegetarian, eggs, fish, poultry, meat. If you are a vegetarian, you always have paneer, tofu, tempeh, soya, and then of course you have your curd, yogurt, and coming to that, you have chana, rajma, and green peas, right? These are protein. And have 6 to 8 fist-sized portion of vegetables every day. 6 to 8 fist-sized portion of vegetables every day. Use a rainbow colors of vegetables. All color vegetables is okay, whether it is cooked or raw, it's fine, doesn't matter, right? And have 2 to 3 cup-sized portion of carbohydrates. Your typical carbohydrates are your grain, your rice, wheat, millet, quinoa, all the grains, right? And 2 thumb-sized portion of fat. Fat are your oil you use in your cooking, oil or ghee, your nuts, avocado, fish, all comes under fat. So to put it very simply, nutrition is in your hands. 6 to 8 palm-sized portion of protein, 6 to 8 fist-sized portion of vegetables, 2 to 3 cup-sized portion of carbohydrates, and 2 thumb-sized portion of fat. Right. It's as simple as that. Don't get into any kind of fad diet. As I said, if you get into any kind of restrictive eating, you're not going to go anywhere. I mean, you may lose weight for some time, but you will get back to where you started. Just to give you an example of a keto diet, keto prohibits you from eating carbohydrates in any form, right? So assuming that you have had rice one day, you feel gutted, you will get stressed and you will go back to stress eating and you will lose all the progress whatever you have made from the beginning. So don't get into any kind of this vicious circle. Get into something which is sustainable, which will help you to lead a healthy and balanced lifestyle. After all, we are human beings. We can't give up the worldly pleasures, right? And you don't need to also. So sticking with habit, what do you think of smoking as a habit? What's your opinion of smoking as a habit? It's a very bad habit, right? Yeah, I've been a smoker once upon a time, as Revati said. It's a really sick habit. It definitely leads to your spoiling your respiratory system. You get lung cancer. How would you react if I say sitting is the new smoking? Right? Prolonged sitting is as bad as smoking 10 to 15 sticks a day. As human beings, we are all evolved to move. But with the advent of technology and comfort, we have completely forgotten to move. Right? A recent study says the biggest predictor of death is not cancer, is not heart attack, it's not obesity, it's not stroke. It is lack of cardiorespiratory fitness, aka lack of movement. We are not moving at all, right? That's the biggest curse. But we have a remedy. There is a pill. There is a pill which will keep you healthier, which will keep you happier, and that pill is available for everyone. It's not expensive, and it is one of the best pills available in the market. Do you want to know the name of the pill? You can note it down. It is EXERCISE, exercise. Very simple. I'm not asking you to do a marathon. I'm not asking you to do crazy 1,000 kilometers like the way I did. I'm not asking you to go join in a gym, pump iron and beat yourself up. I'm asking you to allocate 20 to 30 minutes of your daily time to see the best version of yourself, right? Irrespective of what's happening around you, irrespective of what's happening in your life, whether you're busy, you're not busy, you're not well, whatever it is, 20, 30 minutes of very, very low cardiorespiratory exercises such as walking, do yoga, do Surya Namaskar, do cycling, do running, do jogging, whatever you want to do. But spend that 20, 30 minutes non-negotiable time in moving. Movement is extremely critical, right? So do that. On the same context, I read somewhere that human beings are the only species who deprive sleep deliberately without any reason, right? There's no other living species in the world which deliberately deprives sleep, right? We are unique, right? So we do. What is sleep? Why do we sleep, right? We all know that we get sleep, we sleep. Sleep is a biological process which is aligned to environmental cues. Like for example, if it is sunlight, that signifies that you have to be alert, wakefulness. If it is dark, if it is night, you will have to rest, you have to sleep. Many a times people confuse between quantity and quality of sleep. When I ask somebody, so how is your sleep? Normally we come across saying that I sleep well. I go to bed at 10 o'clock, I get up at 7 o'clock, whatever. But to determine the quality of sleep, it's like this. See, I go to bed at 10 o'clock every day. I wake up at 5 a.m. every day, 7 days a week. I set an alarm at 5 a.m. every day a week. One of the days, if I miss my alarm or the alarm fails to ring and I sleep over my alarm time, that's the day that I have not slept properly. My quality of sleep hasn't been great the previous night, right? That is how you determine the quality of sleep. Sleep has various stages, right? So there is something called transitional sleep, wherein like the moment you hit the sack, you hit the bed, you start sleeping, and then there is something called rapid eye movement called REM sleep or your dream sleep. That is when you remember most of the dreams, okay? And this is like a cycle. After that, you go through 4 phases of sleep. You start off from a shallow sleep to a deep sleep and then come back to a shallow sleep, go to REM sleep. So you need to at least complete 5 to 6 phases of sleep to get a good quality sleep. And each phase ranges between 60 to 90 minutes. Sleep is extremely important. A recent study has said that 10 to 12% of the population in developed countries suffer from insomnia. Insomnia is like inability to sleep. I think this data has been taken before pandemic. I'm sure the numbers would have gone up after pandemic, and thanks to OTT literally invading our bedrooms. I heard from Revati that the kids are not sleeping. Even Sujita was mentioning when I was speaking to her. In the modern era, children between 5 to 18 years of age sleep 2 hours less than what they used to 100 years before. So that is the kind of erosion which is happening in sleep. See, nice, I put you to sleep, nice. Good. So that is the kind of damage which is happening. Sleep is associated with many things, particularly learning and memory. If you don't sleep enough, your brain's ability to observe what you have learned reduces by 40%, right? You will have to sleep before and after learning also. Sleep before learning is to keep your mind fresh so that you can hit the save button and store it in your memory. First, it saved as a short-term memory and as long-term memory. Again, sleep after learning, before learning and after learning also, to keep your mind clear so that it's like a dry sponge. It can absorb all the information you feed in, right? It shouldn't become like a waterlogged road or place where it can't absorb the water or absorb new information. One of the saddest things which happened to us recently was we lost one of our very close friend due to heart attack. And me and ML knows that one of the prime reason is lack of sleep. Lack of sleep is very, very strongly associated with heart attack, stroke. You don't require a full night deprivation of sleep. Consistently, if you are sleeping less for 1 hour, the chances of heart attack increase by 24%. Similarly, sleeping that 1 hour extra decreases the chances of heart attack by 21%. Extremely very important. And sleep plays a very, very major role in your emotional stability. If you're not sleeping enough, you are emotionally unstable. You actually take irrational and impulsive decisions. You are swinging yo-yo both sides. You seek reward. You end up binge eating. I mean, if you have observed, you will suddenly feel ravenously hungry on the previous night if you have not slept. And the normal course of action is to seek comfort foods. The comfort foods which are high in sugar and salt, right? That's the comfort food. The reason why people are not sleeping enough is exposure to something called blue light. Blue light emitting devices are your TV, mobile, tablets, laptop. We are glued to it all the time, right? So there's a difference between reading a book in a physical book and an iPad, right? People say, I read before I go to sleep, but still I don't get sleep. It depends on which is the medium of reading. If you read an iPad, if you read through an iPad or any kind of mobile, anything, it emits that blue light, which comes in the way of release of an hormone called melatonin. Melatonin is a sleep promoting hormone, right? So it delays your sleep by 4 hours. That's why, many of us are unable to sleep. Similarly, caffeine. Somebody asked me to drink coffee in the evening. I'm so paranoid to drink coffee after 3, 4 o'clock because it comes in the way of my sleep. Never drink coffee in the evening because coffee is a sleep blocker. It comes in the way of your sleep. Actually, the display of action, they say the coffee stays in your system. 50% of coffee what you drank stays in the system for 6 hours, and the rest of 20% stays till 12 hours. So effectively, if you have to sleep at 9 o'clock, you should have had a coffee at 9 in the morning. At least like 6-7 hours before sleep, you should restrict your coffee consumption. And the third most important thing why we aren't sleeping enough is stress. Chronic stress comes in the way of our sleep. You need to manage your stress. Avoiding stress is definitely not possible, but it is definitely possible to manage stress effectively, right? So how do I get a good quality sleep? What should I do? First and foremost, do a digital detox at least 1 hour before you hit the sack. 1 hour before you hit the sack, stay away from any gadgets, read a book, do meditation, play with your kids, do anything, but avoid looking into any kind of devices. Get enough of sunlight during the day. Get enough of sunlight get out and that gives you like sleep, and 2, you get vitamin D also, right? That's 2. 3, avoid caffeine at least 6-7 hours before your normal bedtime. Take a warm water bath. It can actually bring down your body temperature by a Celsius, which again can help you sleep. Do meditation, do meditation, go for a walk, whatever suits you, and do a brain dump before you go to sleep. Just write a diary, or just do a brain dump, write a journal on whatever has happened so that you are relieved, you don't carry the stress when you go to sleep, right? The 3 amigos of healthy living are nutrition, movement, and sleep. And if you see, all the 3 involves one thing. They all have one thing in common, which is behavioral change, right? You don't need any external factor to lead a healthy, balanced lifestyle, right? Take nutrition, do one small change at a time, pursue that change persistently, then you are on a path to eating right amount and right quality of food. Movement, start with some small movement, like for example, start with walking. If it becomes easy, start climbing stairs. If it becomes easy, start running, take up cycling, do strength training, do anything, which progressively keep improving. Similarly, sleep, don't compromise that 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Sleep is the superstar of recovery, right? I mean, we're all actually neglecting sleep at a very, very high cost, right? So with that, I'm ending my small but I think meaningful talk. Just to tell about what we do, through Mitahara, we promote moderate eating, a balanced lifestyle and balanced meal. And through Versatude, we do conduct fitness classes through online platform. We do have in-person classes also, group sessions and individual sessions also. I also work with corporates to provide wellness solutions to the employees of their corporates. So this is me, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you so much, Sai. Sai and me have been friends for a long while, and I've seen the transformation happening and all that is done to himself and all his friends also to lead a better life. There are a few questions that a few people have sent across. The first one is, will eating whole eggs increase my cholesterol levels?
That's a good question. Eggs have got a lot of bad publicity. Can you hear me? So eggs have got a lot of bad publicity, particularly on the cholesterol side. Eggs are very rich in high quality protein and fats. In fact, it gives you a nice balance between your HDL and LDL cholesterol. And it has got vitamin D and omega-3 fatty acids also. So there's absolutely no truth in saying like, or if whatever you hear about eggs having bad cholesterol, go ahead, have whole eggs. There's no harm in it.
So one of the fad diets that we are hearing about now is the intermittent fasting. So what are your views on that, Sai?
Fasting is not new to us, right? I mean, we do a lot of religious fasting, and if you see, all of us do fasting. Assume you have your dinner at 8 p.m. and you have your coffee or tea at 7 o'clock. You do 11-hour fasting, right? I mean, just intermittent fasting is a name given to it. That's not a silver bullet. Okay, that's not the only way of losing weight. That's one of the ways of losing weight. What basically you're doing in intermittent fasting is you're maintaining a calorie deficit. You can still have 3 meals and also maintain a calorie deficit, and you can do it through intermittent fasting also. But the research says that intermittent fasting doesn't work very well for women and people who are active. People who lead a sedentary lifestyle, for them it works to some extent. Please go ahead and do intermittent fasting. There is no harm in it. But don't think that I'm doing intermittent fasting, I have to lose weight. Because we don't know how much calorie you are ingesting in the period when you are eating. Like for example, if you're going to load your breakfast into lunch and eat, then there is no meaning in doing intermittent fasting. But if you are comfortable, you can very well do it.
So there's one question which asks, does doing cardio in fasted stage result in more fat burn?
Okay, let me explain what is fasted stage and fed stage. Okay, assuming you are getting up in the morning, not eating anything and going for a run, cycle or whatever physical activity, that's called fasted stage, where you don't eat anything and go. A fed stage is where you get up, you eat something and do whatever you do. There's no big difference between a fasted stage and a fed stage. In a fasted stage, the body draws energy from the energy store. It can be fat, it can be carbs, it can be protein. In a fed state, whatever you have eaten, the body draws the energy from that. Okay, so it doesn't make any big difference. Okay, you can do fasted cardio or fed cardio as long as you don't like overeat and overdo. It's perfectly fine. There's no big difference, or there's no big benefit of doing fasted cardio.
So all of us are hooked on to the smartwatches. So the doubt is, does it track the calories burnt accurately, the steps walked accurately?
Yeah, they do track very, very inaccurately. uh, See, how do you calculate how much calorie is burnt? Based on your height, age, and your weight, right? In a normal situation, as you grow skillful in a particular activity, you start burning lesser calories. Like for example, today I'm starting to run, okay, and I run for a month or two. Today, in an hour's time, I'm able to run 5 kilometers. I will definitely be better in a month or two, right? If I'm doing it like consistently, I would be able to do 6 kilometers in 1 hour the next month. The amount of calorie I burn will relatively go lower or lesser, right? This the smartwatches do not track. One, and two is the smartwatches does not know how much of muscle and fat you carry in your body, right? There is a hell of a lot of difference between what muscle mass you carry and fat mass you carry. So it is very, very inaccurate. Don't go by, like I have seen people who said like today I've cycled 30 kilometers, I burned 500 calories, straight head to Sangeeta and talp vada dosa, and you're undoing all the good work you have done, you know.
That was actually the next question,
Yeah.
which said, can I eat back the calories that I burned?
Exactly. What is the use? Same. I think I preempted and answered this question before. No, if you eat back the calories, how do you lose weight? You lose weight by maintaining a calorie deficit. Let me explain what is calorie deficit. Like say there is something called a BMR, basal metabolic rate. Whether you do anything or not, your body burns some calories. Like you sit in one place for the whole of the day, but still for your organs to function, to breathe, you have to. I mean, you will burn some calories. And for maintaining the BMR, say my BMR is at 1500 calories. So if I eat 1500 calories, I'll remain the same what I am. If I eat 1000 calories, I will start losing weight. It can be muscle, it can be fat. If I have too much of fat, I will start losing fat. But if I am going to burn some calories through exercise, purposeful exercise, and I'm going to eat back those calories like by intaking food, there's no meaning. You're not maintaining a calorie deficit. You're still going to stay at the same position, you know. So it doesn't make any sense. Anything from the audience?
I think we can open out to the
sure.
audience.
We are of late hearing that a lot of celebrities who are exercising in gyms, what is the risk of are they doing something wrong?
We really don't know. That's what I would say. We really don't know. Okay. I feel exercise is getting unnecessarily bad publicity. We really don't know their lifestyle. Okay. Do we know how much Puneet Rajkumar would sleep? We really don't know. Do we know how much of stress he would carry? We really don't know. I mean, the only thing we knew was like he collapsed in the gym while working out, you know. Not necessarily, I mean, things like that can happen to us. But having said that, you have to listen to your body. So, all the three, as I said, nutrition, movement, and sleep are important. The one thing which a lot of people don't give enough attention is to sleep. If you're not sleeping enough, it can definitely affect your performance in the gym, right? As I said, like if you're chronically undersleeping, if you're chronically having sleep depression or carrying sleep deficit, there are very bright chances of such things happening. But it's not maybe. See, in gym, what you do? I mean, you do a little bit of high intensity exercise, but it's not like a sprinting or a running where your heart rate is like very much elevated, right? There may be other factors also. So I wouldn't want to comment because we really don't know what has happened behind the scenes.
Good evening, Sai. I have two questions. First one is you are talking about the 7 hours stretch of sleep. Is it one stretch is required or?
Ideally one stretch. Okay. If you have sleep deficit, like if some days we are not able, you can take a nap. Okay, your nap also. So you should ideally take a nap either 1.5 hours or 45 minutes. Okay. So don't go into a nap where if you're woken up, you're really shocked, you don't know where you are, because that is when you're going into the deep sleep and you're woken up. That's really bad. 45 minutes is that particularly transitional sleep to a REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, wherein that's okay. So you can, but ideally you should clock 7 hours of continuous sleep.
Okay. My second question is actually, first to come belly, last to go is belly. is why it is so? Is
when
it a
you-
depository of fat or?
Correct. So normally for men, so there are two shapes we say. One is apple shape and one is pear shape. Okay, we are all apple shape where we put belly. Women are pear shape where they put more on their back and their thighs. The fat deposit I'm saying. Okay. When you lose fat across the body. I've come across clients who say that I don't want to lose my cheeks, but I want to lose my tummy. Okay, that's definitely not possible. You can't dictate where to lose fat first, right? Did you decide where to put fat first? So you can't decide. And belly fat is the last thing to go. It's like a real struggle. I have struggled. So it is the last thing to go. Yeah. So you don't have, and I mean, just to preempt, I have people asking me, coming across, can you give me exercise to reduce my belly fat? There is no exercise to reduce your belly fat, right? So that's the thing. Yeah.
See, we keep talking so much about diet. Are we conveniently ignoring the quality of food?
See, the quality of food is deteriorated. I mean, definitely.
How are we addressing the quality of food? Because we say organic, we say this, we say some quantity of protein. Are we sure about the quality of protein?
See, I'll tell you, okay, see, there's a lot of publicity or a lot of bad press about processing and processed food and organic, okay. See, everything goes through processing. Your cooking is also a processing, right? Only if it is, when it is ultra processing, it is bad. Ultra processing is like adding trans fat, too much of sugar and salt to make it very much tasty and increasing the shelf life. And what is touted as organic, we really don't know whether it is organic or not. Coming to chemicals, everything has a chemical. Naturally, plants have chemicals, right? There are some, I mean, like some plants which has harmful chemicals also. That's why, I mean, you wash, when you boil, some of the, I mean, the chemicals goes off, all this stuff is there. I agree that the quality of food generally is deteriorated. I think as humans, we have also evolved and to survive with that quality of food, right?
Sir, your consumption on fruits?
Consume as fruit, not as juices. Whole fruit.
Before meal or after meal?
Anytime. But I mean, immediately if you consume after a meal or something, it actually puts some little pressure on your digestive system, but you can have anything. Do not juice a fruit. When you juice a fruit, it becomes sugar water. You just like ignore, I mean, you just take off the fiber portion of it. So do not juice the fruit as far as possible. Yeah.
And green tea versus caffeine? Stop it.
Green tea is caffeine. Caffeine actually helps you for fat oxidation to some extent, particularly black coffee. Okay, black coffee before an exercise to some extent. Okay, green tea, 0 calories. Even black coffee is also 0 calories. Little bit of antioxidants is there. It's like okay to drink, but don't think that these are something which I have, I will lose fat. It's not going to help, but no harm to have.
Unless you go quickly from the mountain top.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm going to butt in because I've been waiting for a long time.
Sure,
now.
please.
Two questions, sir, again. I read somewhere that certain types of exercise burns only carbohydrates, but there are certain types which can burn fat. Like if you walk for a long time, it will burn fat, but if you run quickly, it will burn only carbohydrates. Is there any truth to it? Are there different types of exercises that you should look at? That's the first question. The second question is...
Can I answer the first question?
Please.
Sure.
Before somebody takes the mic.
No, sure. See, there is no particular exercise to burn carbohydrates or fat. And again, it's not us who decide, okay, today switch, I want to burn fat. Today switch, I want to burn. It's not us who decides. But low aerobic activity generally takes fat as energy to burn. Like for example, walking. Walking is one of the best exercise for fat loss. You know, I mean, it's a very, very, what do you say, undervalued exercise. You know, people think walking is only for...
a low aerobic exercise.
Yeah, sorry, it typically differs from people person. You can be at like zone 1, zone 2 maximum, that's it. So yeah, walking, people think it's only for old people. And walking is a fantastic recovery for people who are working out also. I mean, if you're into strength training, incorporate 1 day of walking into your routine. Yeah. So there is absolutely nothing like there is a exercise for carb burn or there is an exercise for fat burn. Yeah, but walking, definitely good for fat loss.
Right.
Yeah.
The next question is a little bit personal. In the last few years, I find my diet preferences change in the sense that there is a craving for sugar. previously I used to never touch dessert of anything. Is this a change in your metabolism which is causing it, or is there choice of food? Because there is somewhere I read that if you have too much of protein, you tend to carve for sugar or something. Is that true again?
That's definitely not true. I have too much of protein. I don't have craving for sugar. Maybe, see, maybe you're not eating enough. You're not eating enough of fiber. See, I'll tell you, there are certain foods which promote something called satiety. Satiety is feeling full, okay? The reason why we say add more vegetables, vegetables are low in calories but very high in satiety, right? And of course, you get all micronutrients also with vegetables. So you will not feel hungry. Like, there are people who have the habit of having a sweet after a meal. Okay, there are a lot of us who have this habit. I mean, it's just one sweet. That one sweet becomes perennial. They don't know it adds up to their calorie, whatever they are eating. So maybe you are not eating enough. It's definitely not because of protein. It's not because of protein. Protein, no. I mean, I'm an example. I don't get cravings. I eat like at least 100 grams of protein a day.
Hi. Fat and carbs in every meal of yours? Compulsory?
Protein in every meal is good. Not necessarily, so, okay, not necessarily. Carbs you will get, I mean, irrespective of whether you want it or not, carbs is there in everything. Fat, keep it at minimum. Keep fat, because I'll tell you, I'll give you simple math.
They also say you should have fat also.
You need fat. You need fat. Yeah, you need fat. But the thing is, the amount of fat what you have determines, I mean, it is very important. Simple thing, 1 gram of carbs is 4 calories, 1 gram of protein is 4 calories, 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. And fat is something which you can, which gets ingested by the body very quickly. Like, take the case of nuts, I mean, I just want to address about nuts. Nuts are ninjas, okay? Why? Because we tend to overeat them because we think it is very healthy. Of course, it is good in protein and fat. But if I'm going to startle you by giving you some figures. 15 grams of cashews, 15 grams of peanuts, 17 grams of almonds, 17 grams of walnuts are 100 calories. 15 grams is what? 5, 6?
All together or each of them?
Each one. That's a good question. Each one. Okay. And you...
15 grams of almonds is 100 calories.
100 calories. 15 grams is hardly anything. Right? Right? And I bet that we cannot stop overeating nuts because we have programmed in our mind that it is good.
Especially
See?
the ones, especially the
So
ones
don't
which
go
are
nuts with
salty.
nuts.
I've been eating it for years.
Exactly.
This whole. Every day.
But don't eat a lot. See, now, I mean, most of us are working. Yeah, most of us are working from home. Okay, so we have a habit of keeping a nut jar near us. We say, hey, no, I don't eat any kind of junk stuff. I eat only nuts. So, but I'm not saying avoid, but keep it in moderation.
Okay, for the front rows, please turn around before you ask the next question. My question is not how to make the front rows do that. Okay. I have fortunately no problem with fitness.
Great. You look fit.
Yeah, and also diet. One follows the other. The question is on sleep.
Yeah.
Now, sleep apnea is a huge problem, and I lately I've been suffering from it. Now they're talking about BiPAP or whatever, all those machines. Does it do good, or is there a way to cure it without getting a machine into your day-to-day life?
Have you tried melatonin supplement?
Nope. But I mean, sleep is not an issue.
Okay.
You sleep, but if you end up snoring, I'm
Yeah.
told it is useless, right?
Yeah,
You don't
yeah,
sleep,
yeah.
right? You're not breathing during that period. So let's say, for example, you get 7 hours sleep, but end up snoring 3.5 hours. Effectively, you're sleeping only 3.5 hours.
yes.
Within that, your REM, SHEM, and whatnot. Now, what are the ways to avoid? I mean, I do pranayam also. I mean, there's nothing that I've not tried.
Okay,
though.
okay.
So, what's your take on
You
this?
should
and how do you-
see a sleep specialist.
Thank you. What I want to avoid.
Yeah, you should see a sleep specialist. Yes, sir.
The solution they're giving is only.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
You mentioned about walking, and I can assure you that I do about 1.5 hours, about 4 to 5 days a week.
Great.
More potholes on the road than any impact on the waves.
Okay.
Your take.
You should watch what you eat.
You have to walk with this side, then you know what kind of
So, sir, with due respect, it's 80% nutrition, 20% exercise. What you eat determines how you look.
Any other questions?
Nice, that's a good question. A gram of alcohol has got 9 calories. Okay, so alcohol. Okay, ml. Alcohol has no nutrition value. Okay, at least sugar has some nutrition value. Anything, alcohol has no nutrition value. Actually, there are two things. One is alcohol per se. Two is what goes with the alcohol. Like one, your aerated drinks, carbonated drinks, that adds up to calorie count, and you are mindlessly, you end up mindlessly snacking, right? So you have to watch. I'm not here to propagate. You stop drinking. You again keep it in moderation. See, I mean, like, make sure that. Okay, I mean, I don't know. I can give you a tip on how to drink. You know, I do drink, but again in moderation. So have a protein or something to eat something and go for drink. You will end up drinking less and you will end up snacking less. If it is a planned session, okay, have a snack or a meal and go have a drink. You will not be able to drink much. You will not end up snacking more. But reduce the frequency of alcohol intake. That has become part of our lifestyle. I mean, but still, you know.
It's my one question for people propagate eating millets. Millets, rice.
Brown. Yeah. Quinoa is from South Africa. What it suits them not necessarily should suit us, you know. I mean, like, if you have money, go ahead, buy.
Millets versus rice.
Nothing great about millets versus rice, because maybe millets has a little bit of protein, extra protein in that. But otherwise, everything is the same. I mean, like, gram to gram calorie wise.
Sai, red rice to white rice?
Again, same.
Same, no difference.
Same. Nothing much. Okay. Yeah. That satiety is slightly higher in red rice.
What is the duration of walk, ideal duration of walk?
It depends on person to person. 45 minutes to 1 hour, but if you have time, if you have energy, you can walk more also. Yeah. It depends.
And
So, I'm sorry, just one thing. So coming to this 10,000 steps, you know, I mean, I'm preempting certain questions. Okay, it's a fantastic marketing tool by all this fitness in smartwatches. But yeah, anything 7,500 steps is good for your cardiovascular system. So it's basically promotes movement. That way it's fine. So, but there is nothing magic about this 10,000 steps.
7,500 steps in one go or during the day?
In one go. So there are two types. One is called NEAT. That is called non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Like you walk to the store, you walk your dog, or climb stairs and all. It's like without any intention you are doing. That's called NEAT, and purposeful exercise also. So keep purposeful exercise for at least 7,500 steps.
Is it good to walk in the morning, early mornings, or after dinner? Which do you
Anything
think?
is fine. As long as you get some movement, anything is fine. As long as you don't walk in your sleep, it's fine.
What about this 250 steps every hour? How does it work?
I've not heard about it, but I really don't know where it is coming from.
Stand up every 1 hour, you're asked.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, nice. Yeah. So, I mean, we tend to, I mean, again, coming back to sitting, smoking, like sitting is new smoking. Whenever you get a call, when you're sitting and working in your desk, get a call, pace few steps and come back. Get some blood flow to your lower body. That's good. Maybe that's why they said 250 steps, but I have not heard this 250 steps every hour, Panda. I'm not sure.
Sorry, one personal question.
Sure.
Your switch, your lucrative earnings to painful burning, how you are? You are in a lucrative earning
Oh,
profession.
you think so? Okay.
Painful burning.
Earlier, huh? Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, that also I don't know whether it was lucrative. See, my transition happened, 10 years back, what Revati said. I used to have a nightmare of being carried in an ambulance always. So that used to really scare the shit out of me. So whenever I used to hear an ambulance sound, I always used to visualize me being carried in ambulance. This is 10 years before. Me and Rajesh used to go to Sabarimala every year. For those 2-3 days, I would stop smoking. But the moment I come back, I used to pick that up again. But then some sense dawned on me, and I decided. Why I came into this is because I became very passionate of doing this. Okay, I wanted to actually wanted other people to experience what I have experienced. I mean, you can lead a very normal life. I mean, that's just an exaggeration saying people are afraid of me and all. I mean, they don't. I'm saying like you can lead a normal life, but have a disciplined approach. Have anything and everything in moderation is key to everything in life, in my opinion.
He's asking about your financial.
Okay, I don't know. I mean, yeah, that need not be in moderation. Yeah, see. Yeah, I see. I mean, like, it's not about money. I'm not here in this business for money. Of course, money is definitely one factor, because anything you do free, it doesn't have any value, right? So it's not, money is not the primary motive, but money is also important, you know. But I mean, I feel very happy when I see my friends. I mean, like, for example, ML. I mean, ML and me have been friends for like more than 30 years. And he saw me, he took up cycling, he took up running. He is now a fit person. I'm so happy about it, you know. I mean, if I can spread that across to more people, I'll be more happy. That will give me more happiness.
One last question.
Sure.
Compared to the regular smoking cigarettes, how about IQOS? Is that better enough? Or
Is that e-cigarette?
Yeah, the electric one, yeah.
I'm not very sure. I mean, it all depends on what kind of tobacco content is there in that.
I don't know, because my...
I'm not sure. I haven't...
He always has an explanation that this is better than what...
It's like lesser nicotine than...
I don't know. The nicotine, I'm sorry. Yeah, to nicotine content. We have to see the nicotine content. I don't know. I think I should accept that. Yeah.
Thank you so much. You have given us a lot of knowledge on what to eat, how to eat, when to eat. Good. Thank you. Memento. With our love and affection, we want to give you a small memento. It's a personalized memento. Make yourself a priority. Physical, emotion, intellect, spiritual. An individual seeking spiritual growth was advised to start with playing football by Swami Vivekananda. Mr. Sairam Ramaswamy, addressing the need for healthy physique and sustainable food habits, you strive to build a healthy nation. We appreciate your endeavors for wholesome wellness. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure.